Alrighty then.
How we doing? How we looking? How we feeling? Yeah.
What is happening, people? It's a great day to be great. And guess what? Sleeper just added the 2024 rookies. So I no longer have to do the Photoshop nonsense where I'm adding them in. Honestly, though, I feel like my graphics look better. I'm just going to be honest because they don't even have a photo for these guys. It's not that difficult to add a photo. You and I know this.
Their graphic looks better.
It doesn't.
I think.
It doesn't. I mean, they just got to add a photo. Why is it hard to add a photo, you know? But that will definitely make
Get me in the room, Sleeper.
easier for sure. What is up, Mystic Flame? Let us know who we're hanging out with in the chat, guys. We'd love to see you. We'd love to hang out with you here on our live streams. But we see you. Mystic Flame is in the chat. Double L is in the chat. He says, Herbert to the Chargers. I know. We saw that just before we went on the live stream as well. And, I mean,
let's look.
I am absolutely psyched for that news. I don't know about you.
The first thing that came to my mind is Joe Alt is a Los Angeles Charger.
Why do you feel that way? I don't understand.
It's because the Chargers need offensive linemen.
Right.
And he's going to get his guy.
You know Joe Alt didn't play for Michigan, right?
Sorry, the other guy. What's his name? I don't know why I get it. There was another Michigan that's a top offensive lineman.
I think you have the wrong school, bro.
Am I tripping?
Are you talking about Olu Fashanu? Because he went Penn State.
No. Maybe I'm just tripping. Anyways, never mind.
I mean, yeah, but this is very exciting. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. This is great for Justin Herbert. I still think they're in play for Brock Bowers. I still think they're in play for Malik Neighbors. Offensive lineman, like you said, maybe it is Joe Alt. You know, who knows? But this is great for this entire team as a whole. You know, someone, Underdog tweeted this out. This was the 49ers under Jim Harbaugh. And their first year, they went 13-3 and they went to the NFC Championship. In 2012, 11-4-1 Super Bowl loss. In 2013, 12-4 NFC Championship loss. In 2014, 8-8. So, I mean, he has done great things in the NFL. He's done great things at the collegiate level. And now he gets to build around Justin Herbert. I can definitely see personally how their two personalities would mix together. I'm excited to see what sort of offensive coordinator Jim decides to bring in and what sort of moves they decide to make. However, any sort of dream that Michigan fans had of J.J. McCarthy and Jim Harbaugh linking up in the NFL, it's not happening. It's not happening. But Herbert, I got a lot of Justin Herbert stock, and I have not sold him anywhere. And I think this is great for him personally. I think this is a huge, huge boost for Justin Herbert.
No question. I think it's a huge boost for everyone that's going to be on that team. You know, the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball. It's huge for the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, you're in division with Patrick Mahomes. You need a head coach that knows how to get through. That knows how to get through to the next level, essentially, because they haven't been able to get there. And the fact that now you have Jim Harbaugh with already an elite quarterback who has been doing as much as he possibly can, Jim Harbaugh is just going to, elevate that to the next level.
Yeah, I am very, very excited. He has been successful pretty much anywhere he's gone. I mean, all the way from his time. I believe he coached Stanford at one point. I think, wasn't he with Utah? I can't remember. That might have been Urban Meyer, but he's been successful wherever he's gone. So this is great, great news. And the footballers with a great question. What does this mean for Marlon Mack? What does this mean for Marlon? If you know, you know. That's a meme that's been going around for ages. But anyway, we are very excited to be doing a 2024 rookie draft with you guys today. We're absolutely hyped to have the sleepers imported into the rookie database. And Badaki and I thought, you know what? Screw a mock draft, like NFL mock draft. Let's just draft the players for today. That's what we're going to have fun with. Just drafting the players based off of talent, where you perceive their talent to be. But just before we get into that, we wanted to say a big hello to everybody in the chat. Brandon says, been missing the live streams because I started a new job, but I'm off early today. Let's go.
Talk it up.
What a time. What's
Honestly,
up,
it's just
Artie?
time to call out.
Yeah. What's up, Flame? What's up? Joseph Styles is here. What's up, Andrew? Dan, Easy Onset. Daniel Macy, our resident NFL draft countdown expert, says 92 days until the NFL draft. What is up, Sam? Dominic, Quavon, Trey, Sparrow's in the chat. What's up? One quarterback gang people here. What is up? What is up? We see Jay Ganja is in the chat. He says that he just became a mother flocker, and y'all know that is just the perfect set. I can't not take this opportunity. It's a perfect segue to tell you guys about becoming a mother flocker and supporting the channel in return. So, as a lot of you guys will have known, we did release our 2024 Rookie Report version 1. This was around Christmas. Version 2 is going to be releasing February 1st. But Aki and I are spending the next couple days packaging it all together because he's about to have a child. But we're finishing all of the new scouting for all these players that we're adding, new features. We're very excited for version 2 to be added. If you want access to the version 2 coming out February 1st, again, use the code LAND, sign up to become a mother flocker. You can see what version 1 looks like, our rankings, Superflex, and one quarterback. We dive deep into these players, new features, more players added. We'll talk about players that are returning to school in case anyone's in Devy leagues. Not only do you get that, but you get access to our rankings. Let's say you want to look at my rankings, or you want to look at my rankings and Badaki's rankings side by side. You want to sort between these two names for Superflex, for one quarterback leagues. Let's say you actually want to view the prospects on the site. You can view my ranking, my prospect rankings on the site right here. Easy way to do that. If you want access to the trade calculator, boom, you got it when you sign up. You want access to the trade finder. You want help finding some real trades that have happened in real leagues. Hey, boom, you're a mother flocker with the promo code LAND. You got it. You can see all real trades that have happened across sleeper leagues. Not only that, but you also get access to the fantasy hotline, which is a direct DM to us. You get access to one of your dynasty teams being reviewed on a live stream. We did those last night. If you want to go check those out, people absolutely love those dynasty team reviews, and we love getting to do them for you. So again, if you want to become a mother flocker, then go ahead and use the promo code LAND, get 30% off, and make sure you choose the mother flocker tier to get all that and more in return. But we see you guys. Dave says, yeah, the Harbaughs can coach. A little too conservative for my fantasy liking, but I have a lot of respect. What's good, Greg? What's up, The Roll? What up, Eric? What up, Tate? What up, Hughes? What's up on the bubble? What's up, Will Benjamin? Unlimited. Peyton. Unlimited. Yes, we do accept super chats, of course. No obligation, though. What is up, Macy? What's up, Dan?
Everyone's obligated.
Yeah, right. Imagine we turn the chat into you can only comment if it was a super chat.
Only way you can talk is by donating.
Yeah, we're definitely not. We're not that big of a deal. We're not.
Yeah, honestly.
But we are very excited today, guys, to do a 2024 rookie Superflex mock draft. There will be no landing spots today, so we will just be drafting these players based off of your talent evaluation. Now, I'll be referring to my rankings. You can find those on the Flock Fantasy site. And we'll be talking more about these players. Maybe we can talk about some sort of landing spots that might be ideal for them. But I already see some people asking, saying, how can I get into the mock draft with you? Well, Badaki, how can people go about doing that then?
Absolutely. Join the Discord. That Discord link is in the link in the description, and the link is in the chat already, as you can see. Once you join that Discord, you go to the left of your screen where it says Fantasyland with the orange footballs. Right, then go to content releases, and that's exactly where I'll be posting each and every link to every mock draft, every live stream, every video that we post on our YouTube channel. All goes on to this channel, content releases, okay? So once again, flockfantasy.com, or sorry, Flock Fantasyland with the orange footballs, content releases, and that's exactly where you can get.
Man was trying to do a sales pitch there.
I know, flockfantasy.com, best place to support what we're doing here. The link is out here in 3, 2, One, that link is out. It is first come, first serve, unfortunately. So if you don't get in, it's okay. Stay tuned. There's gonna be so much more, a lot of questions, a lot of conversations, which is also very exciting here. And it looks like we're pretty much filled
up in a second. So again, to recap, Superflex, PPR, non-tight end premium. Let's get to it. All right.
Here we go.
Trey is on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock. We do reserve the right to pause at any moment just to talk about these players. At any moment, we reserve the right to pause, okay? So just be aware of that. We might have some fun convos. What's up, Lazy Bones? Welcome in. Jay Ganja says, congrats. What's up, Jonah? Welcome in. Congrats to you, Badaki. All right, so at the 101, Caleb Williams goes off the board. And where would you project him currently going in the NFL draft? Give me 3 teams that make sense.
3 teams that make sense. Clearly, the Chicago Bears, my beloved New York Football Giants, and or I think those are the 3 teams.
Yeah,
the 2 teams. I mean, Washington, if somehow they flip to 2. So I guess the Bears, Washington, and my Giants. I feel like we're the team that is just outside in the area where the Bears can get some value at the wide receiver position. Anything later than that is a little bit too tough for them.
Yeah. And I think we should just have a little refresher. Again, we're not talking about landing spots here. We're talking about these players. There's a little bit of prospect fatigue around certain names. Caleb Williams definitely being one of them. But I would highly encourage anyone who is out on Caleb Williams, because there are people out there who are, to really dive into the film. You can find all 22 film. There's a lot of different people who source it. Caddy's Cut-Ups is a great one. But the more you watch Caleb Williams, the more impressed you are because of the talent around him this year. I mean, I've said this before, but according to TeamRankings.com, they look at 133 Power 5 college football teams, and they rank them in certain categories. Check this out. The Trojans, the USC Trojans, ranked 4th in points per game this year at 41.8. Guess where they ranked in defensive points allowed? 119th. So Caleb Williams, every single drive meant so much to him. The talent around him was nowhere near what it was the year before. His best wide receiver was probably Brendan Rice, who he's probably a day 3 pick at best. No disrespect to Brendan Rice. Taj Washington, again, probably a day 3 pick at best. So when you lose guys like Jordan Addison, when your defense can't stop anyone to save their lives, when your offensive line can't protect you, I'm more and more impressed by Caleb Williams the more I watch him. Off schedule, improvising king. You know, the Patrick Mahomes comp, some people hate it. But to be honest, you see it. You really do. I see Patrick Mahomes. I see Kyler Murray. Dak Prescott is kind of the, the medium outcome, I would say. But the talent around him, I think this year is something that is not talked about enough. He does the most with the least. Great deep ball thrower. 95.5 PFF. Passing grade for throws over 20 yards. That is 6th best in the nation. The arm talent is ridiculous. He's a great read to run player. A lot of people talk about his time to throw. Yeah, again, go watch that offense. Go watch that offense and tell me that this guy doesn't need to improvise on a consistent basis. The structure around him wasn't good. I keep hearing Badaki, people saying Caleb Williams isn't good in structure. When the structure around you is awful, it's hard for you to be good in that structure. But yeah, anything you want to say before we move on to the 102?
I would just say, a lot of players don't play under structure nowadays anyway. I think of Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. There is structure, but it's not like somebody that sits in the pocket nowadays. That's not how the NFL works. So I think
I would say, like, I agree with you.
You got to look beyond it a little bit, You have to see how the structure. There is structure. He's just moving out of the pocket and trying to make the extra play, just like we've seen with the great quarterbacks in the NFL at the moment.
So I hear you. I think like that's true to an extent. Well, everyone plays in structure in the NFL, everyone. But the best quarterbacks can play outside of the structure, and that is what makes Caleb Williams really enticing because he has that X factor to, okay, that play that we called up that we spent all week running to perfection got shut down. Well, guess what? Watch me improvise. He has that ability. So he goes at the 101, and now Daniel Macy is up on the board. Jaden Daniels off the clock. You guys know I love me some Jaden Daniels. You are going to be hard pressed to find someone who loves Jaden Daniels more than myself. The best player in college football this year by a mile, by an absolute country mile. He completed over 71% of his passes in the SEC against some of the best defenders in college football. He was third in big time throws with 29. He was fourth in big time throw percentage. He threw 40 touchdowns and only threw 4 interceptions. 4 interceptions while throwing the ball that much. His turnover-worthy play percentage, 1.6%. And I haven't even talked about how damn good he is on the ground. Back-to-back years with over 1,000 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns. The only player in college football history to have 350 passing yards and 200 rushing yards in a single game. Yes. This player absolutely deserves to be in the conversation with the upper echelon players in this draft and in Superflex leagues. I've compared him to RG3, Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts. I've heard some people compare him to Lamar Jackson. I don't personally like the Lamar Jackson comp. I'll be honest with you, Badaki. Lamar Jackson is way more twitchy. He's going to make you miss in the open field. And he was not the same passer that Jaden Daniels was coming out of college. So I understand people see a guy who can run well, and they're like, that's Lamar Jackson. I don't personally think that it's a great comp. But who was your favorite comp for Jaden?
Well, for me, it's Jalen Hurts.
I was going to say, hopefully it wasn't Lamar Jackson after I just said that.
No. For me, it was Jalen Hurts. You see that ceiling. You see him staying in the pocket, distributing the ball all around the field, and does have the mobility to extend the play when it does come down to it. So you can definitely see that in his play. And, I have a little bit harsher floor, like a Tyrod Taylor-esque type of player. But that's like his absolute floor when it does come down to a really decent backup quarterback when you think of, once again, pro comparison to floor. But look, Jane Daniels, the 102, I think we're going to be seeing this flip-flop all throughout the season, all throughout the offseason. I personally still have somebody that's still available on the board as my QB2, which I'm pretty sure we'll definitely talk about him in a second. But look, this is the style of NFL. This is the style of player that the NFL wants. A guy that can extend the plays with his legs and that can distribute the ball. Like you said, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, distribute the ball and take care of it. So very, very interesting prospect here with 2 incredible talents in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. So very interesting to see here. Then you see the best wide receiver, they say, since Julio Jones, since some of these guys, and that is Marvin Harrison Jr. here at the 103. No question about it. Some of the best footwork, hands in the league here. Unfortunately, he did not win the Heisman Trophy, or I think he won the Biletnikoff Award, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe he did. It was either him or Malik. I'll have to look it up. I don't know why I don't remember because Marvin was in contention last year. Anyway, keep going.
Look, obviously one of the best prospect wide receivers coming out. He is going to be a massive impact, an instant top 6, top 5 fantasy wide receiver for your team.
It was Marvin
in his rookie year.
Marvin won the Biletnikoff. Last year it was Jalen Hyatt, and you and I hated that Jalen Hyatt was on that list because up until that point it was like superstars. You had Chase in 19, Devonta Smith in 2020, Addison in 2021, and then Jalen Hyatt. You know that meme where
Giants legend, brother.
Sure. You know that meme where it's like these soldiers looking around a corner and one of them has a clown costume on? That's Jalen Hyatt here. We were big Jalen Hyatt haters last year, so I felt like Marvin should have won last year and Malik Neighbors should have won this year, but I'm not a voter, so obviously it does not matter. But Marvin comes off the board next. If you had to choose, this is impossible to do because trying to compare a player to one player is really not helpful. But I just wanted to see if you had to say one name that stood out the most as a comp.
Julio Jones. Marvin Harrison is Julio Jones. He comes in, he demands, he walks in on the field, and I think there's a presence, there's demand, there is an eliteness to him already as a rookie, which may sound crazy, but that is the best way that I see. Like, and he's just smooth and fluid, and Julio was smooth and fluid, and he was fast, and he was tall.
Yeah,
I see Julio Jones, and I see, like Timothy said, Devontae Adams. I have Devontae Adams as a pro comp in our scouting profile as well. So I think Julio Jones is the best comparison in my opinion.
Yeah, what I asked you to do is unfair because you really can't. There's not one good comp for Marvin Harrison Jr. He really does have shades of all of these great players into his game. And you can just tell this guy grew up around football. He grew up around some of the best minds. If I had to say one name, it would be Larry Fitzgerald for me. Mm-hmm. However, if I was to combine him with two names, it would probably be Larry Fitzgerald and Amari Cooper. And I know that's not probably enticing, but I feel like when he is running routes, I see a lot of Amari Cooper in his game. And a lot of people don't realize how good Amari Cooper is as a route runner. But I would say Larry Fitz and Amari Cooper, and that might not excite people, but you think size, speed, you think Randy, strength. I see a little AJ Green to his game. Definitely see the Devontae Adams. I mean, very, very exciting player, and probably going to end up an Arizona Cardinal. And everyone who bought a bunch of Kyler Murray last year, like me, were absolutely cheering at the thought of either Marvin Harrison or Malik Neighbors being added to that team. In fact, Badaki, I already have a share of Marvin Harrison Jr. I am delighted to tell people that in my first ever Devy League, I just added Marvin Harrison Jr. to the squad. I'll show you guys real quick. Yeah, probably a waste of time, but in case it's not, Kyler Murray, and we got, where is it? Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's put him straight into the lineup. We want this team. We're not settling for second best here. You're going onto the bench, Dallas. Oh, I'm over the limit, so never mind. I have to do it later. But I literally named my team Kyler to Marvin Harrison Jr. when I did this draft because I just spoke it into life. But Marvin is off the board. Drake May is next. Drake May, the funny thing is Drake May, Daniels, Marvin, Malik, whoever you end up with one of these picks, they are not a consolation prize. They really, really are not a consolation prize. I would say Drake May is more of an unfinished product compared to the first two that went off the board, but he, compared to any of these guys, could have the highest ceiling. I always say Justin Herbert is my ceiling comp. My floor is Daniel Jones. So somewhere in between there, I think you're going to get a very, very exciting player. He has ridiculous velocity. That's what I'll say about Drake May. His velocity he's going to make some window throws that like 3 quarterbacks in the NFL can make. That's the type of zing my guy's got on his throws. He had the #1 big time throws in college football last year. He had the 3rd best deep passing grade according to PFF. Great size, big frame. Justin Herbert was my comp. I'm not sure where you stood on him though.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. I put a little bit of Josh Allen because of his body frame. But when I think of Drake May, I think of how last year he was getting treated, how CJ Stroud was getting treated last year. And I think this is what's happening with Drake May coming into this year. Not saying he's going to come out and prove himself like CJ Stroud has.
Sure.
But I think a lot of the way that, we see a lot more hype. We think of fantasy, a lot more upside. I feel like we're going to see Malik Neighbors go higher if he does go to the Chargers over Drake May, even if he does get the 2nd overall pick to the Washington Commanders or to New England Patriots. And you see someone like Malik Neighbors, like I said, go to the Chargers. I think we're undervaluing him personally. I could be wrong, but I think there's a lot of not you specifically.
I'm not even talking to you. What just happened?
Oh. You're talking about the draft.
What just happened? I mean, I was sitting here preparing to talk up one of my favorite players in the draft, Malik Neighbors, and talk about how much I love him. And we let the draft go for a second, and Ladd McConkey is the 106.
Well, okay. Will just said people need to put Ladd on the map He's an elite athlete, elite speed, and great yards after the catch threat. I took him here in the draft I did today. He's top 3 wide receiver.
Okay, look, guys, we started scouting in November and December. November, December, we scouted this entire class, and y'all know my favorite sleeper in this class is Lad McConkey. I call him Lad the Space Creator because all my guy does is create space. He gets open. He is an underrated athlete. He's going to do really well at the combine. People are going to be surprised. However, even for me, the biggest Lad guy you'll find out there, this is a little bit too early. And Will, let me encourage you, brother. I know you want to put him on the map. Why? I have to do this because it's my job to tell people about these players I love. You don't have to start putting this ADP out there. If you love Lad McConkey and you think he's top 3,
because he's white,
then you do not draft him this high. You want him to fall in your rookie drafts, my brother. If people start seeing Lad at the 1-6, we will have no sleepers like this available, right? If we're putting Lad up here, just think about it. I'm begging you. I'm pleading you. Please do not make me not have Lad McConkey available in the second round of rookie drafts. I do not want this to be a trend. I love this player. And I love the shout out Will, but just keep in mind, if you're going to be putting him in different communities in the first round, we are going to get to a dangerous spot where he's no longer a sleeper. You know, you do not want to put him that high, but I do love me some Lad McConkey. I absolutely do. My comps for him was a little Robert Woods, Chris Godwin, a little Deontay Johnson to his game. I mean, he's a very, very exciting player. And like I said, I don't think people realize how good he is after the catch. I don't think people realize how fast he is. I really don't. So I think he has a chance to really surprise some people at the combine. The people who are spreadsheet focused, because there's no wrong way to do this. The great thing about Dynasty is everyone can have a different opinion, right? But the people who are spreadsheet focused will not be on Lad McConkey because the guy doesn't, he never had over 20% of a team's receiving offense. He never hit that breakout mark. He was injured. His stats aren't impressive. He was a part of a Georgia offense that spreads the ball around. So people who are like deep into the spreadsheets will not love Lad McConkey. The people who are film guys, the film guys will love Lad McConkey. I fell in love with him when I started watching him. But I love this player, Badaki. I cannot be putting Lad McConkey at the 106. Do not do this. You're killing me, guys. Don't put him this high.
Look, I don't see him, even if he goes in the first round to the Chiefs. I think there's at least 2 other players that will still go above him because I'm projecting them to get better draft capital than Lad McConkey. Excuse me, overall, right? Like, are we surprised that Lad can go in the first in the NFL draft and in rookie drafts? Absolutely not. I think there's a possibility. But there's still so much talent on the board. That's not even tight ends, wide receivers, quarterbacks that are still there. I would definitely wouldn't do this, and I probably guarantee you probably could potentially have gotten him at the 2-6. Maybe he goes earlier. Maybe Daniel Macy would have taken him. Because Daniel Macy knows all of my guys, but it's a tough something I would have done.
It's funny because Rowan said it's like the script of the thumbnail writes itself. Lad McConkey's on the thumbnail. People found out the script, and here we are with Lad going at the 106. I mean, look, it's fun because obviously this sparks conversation. But Will, again, I'd encourage anyone out there, if you guys are going to go on mock drafts and you really love a player, don't take them so high to the point where they're ADP. Like, you do something crazy, and at some point it could become a trend, right? And now all of a sudden a player that you love, you got to take in the first 6 picks, you know? So I know it's fun and you want to shine a light on them, but be careful, man. I'm trying to keep some of my sleepers in the second round. I want some of them to stay there. But the good thing about Lad is the guy is team proof. He is absolutely team proof. I mean, he fits any NFL offense. He can create space easily. He's a great athlete. He's great after the catch. He can fit any NFL offense. But Malik Neighbors, I don't want to shine over that quickly. I love me some Malik Neighbors. You know, I've said it reminds me a little bit of Antonio Brown, a little Reggie Wayne. And I personally think that he should have won the Blitnikoff this year. But he comes off the board at the 105. You're on the clock at the 107.
Yeah, I'll make this one short and sweet. We've been on here. I'll take my third wide receiver off the board who falls to me at the 107. I can go tight end. I can go wide receiver. I'll take a wide receiver here. That's Roma Doomsday. Big body at twitchier. T. Higgins, I like to call him. Somebody that can come in and easily be a contributor to the offense. I love Roma Doomsday and believing in some good opportunity here in the top, I would say top 15. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Personally, great route runner. He led the team in the college football playoffs as well. Led his team to the college football playoffs, which is exciting. And look, he's going to be an alpha wide receiver one going into this year, no doubt about it. So Roma Doomsday,
love a Doomsday.
Someone that we loved last year too. We scouted him thinking that he was going to come in. Doesn't declare.
It was hilarious because you and I go through this every single year. We like to get early on these players. We like to find out about them early and let you guys know. And that would have been 2022, November of 2022. We were scouting the 2023 class. Roma Doomsday, my favorite sleeper at the wide receiver spot in that class. And I remember watching this one route where he literally sent someone to the shadow realm with a route that he had, and I was like, oh my god, I love this player. And unfortunately he didn't declare, but it was the right decision because now he's a consensus top 10 top 15 pick, so it was the right decision for him. Brock Bowers comes off the board next, and I'll just say, by the way, guys, with Lad going at the 106, I am not comparing him to this player, but let's keep in mind that one of the most valuable players in last year's rookie class was drafted consistently in the 4th round. His name was Puka Nacua, right? So all I'm saying is this too high? Probably. Puka Nacua is an outlier. Probably. There will probably never be another Puka Nacua again. But all I'm saying is, don't go too hard on my guy, Will, who's trying to have fun here and talk up a name, because anything's possible. But I'm on the clock here, and Brock Bowers goes right before me. I was scouting Brock Bowers yesterday because we're adding tight ends to version 2 of our rookie report. And it's hard not to just laugh when you watch Lad McConkey because Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Because some of the things that he does is how did he do that? I'll share one clip that I put over on my Twitter. I tweeted it out or X'd it out, whatever, who cares.
I was about to do auto pick, by the way.
Am I? Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me pause the draft. My bad. This clip versus Auburn. If you want to see what Brock Bowers' upside and his potential is, I encourage you, go watch the game versus Auburn in 2023. Because this man is just different than the rest. He is just different. But this play in particular stood out to me. Watch this. I'll take that. Thank you. Let's look at this again. I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. What? Look at the full arm extension. Even the ref. Look at the ref. The ref is like, what the hell? Hand on his heart, what? Bless your heart. What in the hell just happened? Brock Bowers, he's not from this earth. He is not from this earth. So he goes off the board there. I absolutely love that pick. And I see a little George Kittle. I think George Kittle is the easy comp for Brock Bowers. But I'm going to throw another name out there. Because Brock's, I wouldn't say he's undersized. He plays over his weight. He's a little undersized for the position. But as far as what he can do in the open field, I kind of see a little Shannon Sharp. I see a little Shannon Sharp in the open field. I really do, with his yards after the catch ability. I've not heard many people say that. Maybe I'm missing the mark, but like I mentioned, George Kittle, Shannon Sharp. Have you had a chance to scout him yet, or is he upcoming for you?
Yeah, upcoming for me. That's somebody tight ends I'm doing today.
Okay.
When I update, I did wide receivers yesterday. So yeah, tight ends next for me.
Yes, love it, love it,
Everything
love
was
it. All right, I'm up on
interesting.
the clock, and
What are you thinking here?
yeah, lots of
109.
options. Lots of options.
I wonder if you're gonna go the way I think you should go.
You want to make the pick for me?
I do, but you can make a pick.
All right. I'm up on the clock. I could very easily see myself having... Okay. I'm taking my wide receiver 4. The issue is my wide receiver 4 is very much in the air right now. Very much in the air. Between a name that I love, that you and I called a sleeper, now everyone loves, so he's not really a sleeper anymore. He's going to be a top 20 pick. And another name that I love that is not really getting any hype. He's not getting the love that we thought that he might get.
That's just because of his size. I think
because of his size.
People are still honed in on that. And
for today, I'm going to have a little fun. And I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. I'll take Brian Thomas Jr. off the board. When I look at Brian Thomas, we talk about a lot of size speed athletes in this class. He might be the most athletic size speed receiver in the entire class. He just might be. I see a lot of Anquan Bolden in his game. I see a little George Pickens as kind of like a nice safe floor. He needs to improve as a route runner, specifically his release package. Needs to expand the route tree. A lot of go balls, a lot of simple routes in his game. However, strong hands. He had an 82.1 catch percentage, which was third best in the nation of any wide receiver who had 50 targets. He had a 60% contested catch rate, has really nice late hands, fluid, ridiculously fluid in the open field. He moves like he is 5'10", 180, even though he's 6'4", 205. I mean, he's ridiculously fluid, very capable run blocker, great after the catch. I love me some Brian Thomas, so I'll take him off the board there next. And then Michael Penix Jr. comes off the board at the 110. And I'll be honest, this really feels like a troll here. Is Shiggy serious with this one?
Shiggy's definitely in there. He even questioned.
Is that an auto?
He even questioned Will. Was like, dude, what? When he made the pick.
So let's find out. I don't know if this was a mistake or not. But anyway, Michael Penix is off the board next. Here's the thing with the following 3 quarterbacks: Penix, Nix, McCarthy.
Yeah,
without
this is where
landing
I thought
spots,
you would potentially go.
Without landing spots, without draft capital, we have no idea where we should draft these guys yet, because these could be second-round picks. These could be first-round picks. You know, someone could jump back into the first-round pick to grab a McCarthy, to grab a Penix if they like. But at the moment, with no landing spots, which is what we're doing today, very, very difficult to really understand how to value those quarterbacks. I think the draft will be everything for those 3 guys. We know Williams, Daniels, May, all going to be top 5 picks probably. Penix, Nix, McCarthy, opportunities to go in the first, but certainly not guaranteed. So I think draft capital will be everything for those names.
Yeah, completely agree. And that's the kind of the way that I thought you would potentially go. I know without the landing spot, we don't know, but I think in practice, we need to be ready for this, because I think we're going to see 1 or 2 of those quarterbacks that you named, JJ Bo or Michael Penix, potentially going in the first round, and then we're going to have to pivot because we either love the landing spot, we love the weapons around him, and how he can develop. What if it's JJ McCarthy going to the Vikings? What if he's going to the Broncos? What if he's going to the Raiders? That changes a lot, and that same could be said with Bo. What if he goes to the Steelers? What if he goes to the Seahawks, who already have decent weapons around? We need to be ready to pivot to one of these quarterbacks because of how important the quarterback position has been this past year, especially with injuries. So once again, we just need to be ready. Be ready for this quarterback.
I 100% agree. Like we've talked about this when we've done a video doing the Superflex draft, and we've used landing spots. In landing spots where these guys go in the first, they absolutely should be considered from the 1-9 onwards. Doesn't matter who it is. If you're telling me you hate Penix, but he went at 8 to the Falcons, or at 20 to the Steelers, you're telling me you hate McCarthy. He went at 8 to the Falcons in a Superflex league. Yeah, you're taking those guys from the 109 onwards for sure. if not earlier, because I'm not sure McConkey will be up there in ADP. But okay, so Penix off the board. Really hard to find a good comp for Penix, honestly. I think he gained a lot of steam in the semifinals versus Texas, and then maybe lost even more than what he gained in the national championship. Hard guy to really get a comp on. Little Geno Smith to his game. I almost feel like Kirk Cousins isn't honestly, I don't think it's an awful comparison. Tua makes sense because he's a left-handed quarterback, but I would say Penix has a better deep ball than Tua does. I think he has more arm strength too. So, yeah, I would say Kirk isn't a terrible comp, but it's hard to find a really good one.
Very difficult to find a comp for Michael Penix here, and look, when it comes down to the 111 with Frank Gore here and Shingy, yeah, I think you have a good thought process, and
let's read out what Shingy said, just so everyone can understand
where he's thinking.
So this is not an auto pick. He is serious. He says, Frank Gore is a Southern Miss legend who runs a 4.23 and is untackleable. I've done my research, and he is undoubtedly a first rounder. He'll be the next Kyron Williams, and I love him. Again, that's awesome that you love this player, but Shingy, we saw Ladd go earlier than he needed to go. We're seeing Frank Gore go in the first round. I promise you, if we do a 3-round mock, he's probably available at the 311. I love that you guys want to put a spotlight on these names, but keep in mind, if you're going to go on streams and put them in the first round, they're not going to be sleepers by the time the draft comes around, So if you wholeheartedly believe that this is the next Kyron Williams, well, guess what? Kyron Williams went in the 3rd round of his rookie draft in ADP, right? Frank, here's what I'll say. He had a great year at Southern Miss.
By the way, sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
We've never even had Frank mocked. I think in the mock drafts that we've used, I think maybe one or twice. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, most of the mock drafts that you and I are looking at from the NFL draft community, he is a 6th-round pick at best. That doesn't mean, Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th-round pick, right? It doesn't really matter. If someone loves a player, they love him. But what I'm trying to say is, if you want these sleepers, guys, let them sleep. Let them sleep. The more you shine light on them and you put them in the 1st round, they're not going to be sleepers if you keep doing that, in your mock drafts where friends can see it and stuff. But Frank Gore Jr., definitely a fun player. I'm not going to say that he's not. This year, over 1,100 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. But I don't personally see 4.23 speed, and I'm going to give him a second look over in my scouting. I'll look at some more All-22 before version 2 comes out. Maybe Shiggy is 100% right, and I'm missing the mark here. I don't see 4.23 speed. I mean, that's almost unheard of at times.
4.23 speed. That means you're saying he's faster than Devon Chain. He's faster than, if I'm not mistaken, he's faster than Tyreek Hill. Wow.
Yeah, well, the fastest 40-yard dash ever would have been John Ross at 4.22.
John Ross, 4.22. You're saying that he is as fast.
If Frank Gore Jr. is going to run a 4.23, that would be 2nd fastest ever. Chris Johnson ran a 4.24. Here's the issue, though, Badaki. He averaged 4.9 yards per carry this year, and he played in the Sun Belt Conference. If you're playing in some conference that doesn't have the respect of a Big Ten, of an SEC, you really want that efficiency to be quite significantly up there, right? I mean, you want that to be around a 6.5, 7, ideally 7.5 yards per carry. If someone's really going to stand out and they were just in the wrong conference, recruiters missed on them, you got to separate yourself a little bit. I'll go back. I'll watch the film again on Frank Gore Jr. I want to give Shiggy every benefit of the doubt. But again, what I will say is if this is your favorite sleeper, stop pushing him up boards. Number 2, 4.23. How do we see a 4.23? I don't know. I don't see it. Again, I'll go look at it. And again, the Sun Belt Conference, not going to get a lot of respect from NFL GMs. So,
yeah. Anyways, very interesting mock draft so far with 2 guys Look, Matt McConkey, I think, could be an actual possibility if he does get the draft capital, even if he goes early second round.
I think
Right?
Lad
Maybe
has
he's
a real chance to be in the first round back into the first round.
exactly.
I don't
where
think
I feel
Frank
like
has a shot.
I don't think Frank has a shot, and that's where I was going. That is not something that I see. But then you see Troy Franklin, one of the guys that you kind of already mentioned at the 112, that is not getting the hype or talk of recognition that we hope and like that we've seen from his film, from his tape and everything.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a little bit underwhelming. He's currently my wide receiver 5. He's an explosive athlete that's really good with yards after the catch, and he is somebody that can take it to the house, right? He does have, decent speed that can play in the slot and on the outside. Very versatile player. I think he's a slot type deep threat wide receiver that can really change everything. And the best comp that I have for him, which it is really difficult, probably just based off of his size, 6'3", 187 pounds, is Devonta Smith.
He's lanky for sure. He's got a lanky profile.
100%. Obviously, does have some drop issues, but I mean, he is there and is somebody that can easily go to the Chiefs, that can go to the Bills and be a playmaker. I really love Troy Franklin, and I wonder if that's going to change as we get closer. After the NFL Combine, and saying, "Wow, look at this guy's speed, look at his athlete, look at his production." All that. Over 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns this past year.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Troy and Brian Thomas Jr. are in a battle right now for my wide receiver 4 spot, and both could end up there when Combine and draft capital is all said and done. What I will say is, while in December, you and I thought Brian Thomas Jr. would be a sleeper, and we loved him. It's trending towards him being a consensus pick that everybody loves. On the opposite hand, Troy Franklin, a player that I still am very much in love with, is not getting that love, and I love that. I want him to be pushed down boards. I want to be able to get a Troy Franklin in the second round. I want that to be a realistic possibility. Huge fan of his game. He is explosive, dynamic. You get this guy in the open space and let him wreak havoc for your offense. Exciting player. If you look at his size, it's a little bit weird. Robbie Anderson is really the only player in the NFL that has a similar size comp. But as far as play style, I see a little Devonta Smith, Deshaun Jackson. I think Jameson Williams also feels like a very fun comp when you watch these two guys play. But broke out at the age of 19. He's a great route runner. His release package, I think, is one of the best release packages in the entire class. I've called him Frozone before, and that is because his release package, my guy, is freezing defensive backs off the line of scrimmage, bursting into that second level of his route with some confidence. Reliable hands. Could improve a little bit. The drop percentage was up this year. But I'm a big fan of his game. So yeah, I'm glad that Troy is in the first round, but I don't mind so much. Like I said, if I was someone who was watching content and I wasn't creating, because you and I create content, it is best for us to be as truthful as we can and not to hold back sleepers. But if I'm just watching content, I'm part of leagues and I love Dynasty, ain't no way I'm putting my sleepers in the first round like this. Ain't no way I'm putting Frank up there if I know I can get him in the third, or Lad if I can get him in the second. Lad a little bit less, but
I just think even if they're sleepers, I think it's really unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like last year, we said we love Puka Nacua. There's no way that we were going to take him in the first round because we believed in him.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be true. Doesn't mean that we still took him in the first round. We still waited until the end of the fourth round. I'm pretty sure you took him with a 410 or some crazy ridiculous number like that.
He was my go-to in the third, fourth. It was him, Michael Wilson, Tank Dell we ended up falling in love with. Jaden Reed somehow fell into the third at times. Look, Zach Evans was in there. That didn't work out, but there was some hits and misses. But go ahead.
I just think it doesn't mean that you take your guy in the first, even though you love him and projecting him to be there. If that's the case, we should be doing that with every single player. I should have taken Sean Tucker in the first last year. Yeah. That's the type of thing.
You want the risk reward to pay off with a sleeper that you love. But anyway, we always do this after every round. I want the chat to tell me right now who was the best value pick in the first round. Who was the best value? Who do you think it was? Who got the biggest return based off of the selection that they made? And I guess I'll ask you, Badaki, who was it?
I think it's Troy Franklin. Yeah, so I see. Frank Gore, no question about it. I think at the 111, I mean, what an absolute steal. No, for me, it's Troy Franklin. I personally think somebody that could have gone as early as your pick at the 109, getting him at the 112 there. I think it is good value personally.
Yeah, and by the way, Shiggy, I hope you know we're not laughing at you for taking him. We're laughing at everyone saying he was the best value because obviously they're having fun. That's what this is about, guys. This is about having fun. We're not going to be 100% right on all these prospects. We know that. It's about having fun, learning our best, and getting better at it every single day. So hopefully everyone knows we're just having fun for the most part. But hey, over 180 people watching the stream. You guys are probably just excited as we are to have the 2024 rookies in the sleeper database. If you're in Devy leagues, you get to add those guys already. Do us a massive favor, though, as you're watching the stream, go ahead and absolutely obliterate the like button.
Come on, baby.
Did work suck? Did someone treat you poorly today? Did you get cut off in traffic? Take it out on the like button. Go ahead and absolutely abuse it. And in return, your abuse will turn into support for this channel. You're going to help the channel grow by smashing that like button. We are under 25 likes away from 100 already, which is absolutely awesome. So again, do us a huge favor. Hit the like button and support the channel. Subscribe if you like Dynasty content. But at the 201, Badaki, Devon Walker comes off the board. And again, we got people calling shots. Frank Gore goes in the first. Labaconki at the 106. This, I think, is a little more realistic personally because I've seen a lot of people in the community really, really love Devon Walker. I will say, I can't say I'm as high as certain people in the community because some people have him right after Dunze as their wide receiver 4.
I've seen that high as well.
Some people have him as their wide receiver 3. I'm not really sure that I can get there, but I do see a very exciting player. I see a guy that I think will go probably end of the first, mid-second of the NFL draft. He's a project route runner. He is. Great athlete, down the field, big play threat. He had an ADOT of 19.1. He's got great long run speed. He's a fluid mover, but he's a project route runner. Still a lot of his game that needs to improve. He struggles a little bit versus press coverage. He's a limited yak player. And he only got to play one half of a season in a Power 5 program. So we have to keep that in mind. A lot of his production came out of Kent State. So, again, I like this player. I see a little Christian Watson to his game. A little Mike Williams, a little Brian Edwards, worst case scenario. But I think he's an exciting player, 6'2", 200, great athlete. But I can't say him as high as other people. I don't hate him here. I'm just saying a lot of people have him in the first round. I'm not sure I can get there.
Yeah, I don't have him as high as the first round personally. I think I kind of made that mistake last year with the likes of Jonathan Mingo. I personally put him in the trajectory of hype and in an uptick where he does potentially fall in a good landing spot, but is not necessarily going to be the guy. Not comparing him with his talent or anything, just the pathway. A lot of people love the hype on Jonathan Mingo. We heard a lot of his name in the community, and I think this is what's happening with Tez right now at the current moment. And it's early, so maybe that's going to die down, or maybe that even goes to the next level if he's going to the Senior Bowl or wherever he's going right in the NFL Combine. Keep an eye out. Try not to hype it too much. Stay even keel when it comes down to Tez Walker, because I think a lot of things could change. I kind of currently project him to be mid to late second round in the NFL draft.
I'd say he need one hell of a combine to be a first round pick.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. Completely agree.
We did just get a super chat from El Tigre, so we'll always get straight to these super chats if they come up. Thank you for the support, Tigre. You're awesome. He says, still on cloud 9 from the game. Let's go crush some birds this weekend. How about those Chiefs? Yes, Tigre's a Chiefs fan, and he sent a photo in one of these leagues of him at the Chiefs game, freezing his ass off, but being the heart and soul of that Kansas City team, and probably the sole reason why Kansas City is going on to the next round. So all I'm going to say is, Tigre, the Chiefs need you. They need you in Baltimore. They need you. It will not be the same without you.
Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Don't do it.
Yes, but Tez Walker off the board. A little too rich for me. There are still players on the board that I like more, but he's off the board, and that's what this stream is about. It's about taking a shot on guys that you like. So we can't sit here and say it's the wrong pick because we got people who are bringing their opinions.
Yeah.
So there goes
our first.
Trey Benson.
Technically our second running back.
Actually, the second running back off the board. Y'all know I love me some Trey Benson. That is my RB1 in the class. It was my RB1 in the class even before we had TreVeyon Henderson returning back to Ohio State. I just think Trey Benson fits the NFL perfectly. I really, really do. I mean, he's got that David Montgomery grit to him, that Javonte Williams break tackle ability. He's got that Rashad Penny burst breakaway type of speed. This year, he hit 21 miles per hour or greater in a game 3 times, more than any other player in college football. So he's got the long run speed. He's got the burst. It absolutely stands out in my opinion. He's a great after contact player. And this is a guy that you could give 10 to 20 touches a game in the NFL today. And at the size of 6'1", 225, very few humans in the entire world run that fast, let alone at that size. So I'm a big Trey Benson fan.
A lot says fat and big. Yeah, I'm sold.
He said fast and big, not fat.
I thought he said fat. I read it fat and big really fast. That's hilarious.
Bo Nix off the board next. You and I do love us some Bo Nix. This is a player that if he gets first-round draft capital, again, like Michael Penix, people are going to be in. I think Bo Nix is a point guard plus profile, the type of guy that can run your offense seamlessly. And if you need him to kind of extend the play 3 to 4 times a game, he can do it with his legs. Reminds me a little bit of Brock Purdy as far as like what you could get, what an NFL team could use him like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he could have gone as high as the 110, even higher. Remember, you have to be ready for these guys. One of these quarterbacks, whether it's Michael Penix, Bo Nix, or J.J. McCarthy, to be at least in that middle of the pack of that first round with, 15 to 25, that's going to change a lot, in my personal opinion there. And then Cade Legacy with the next pick there with Adonai Mitchell, one of my favorite risers so far. The more film I watch, the more I like him. Really 6'4", 196 pounds, big body type of player that has really, really secure hands. He's not going to drop the ball. He's somebody you can rely on.
Yeah.
2.3%
drop rate.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. I think his route running is definitely something that he's improving on. I don't think he is top tier, but something that we've seen when we compared him to the likes of, not compared him, but saying, imagine him going to the Bills. He plays the Gabe Davis role, someone that is a significantly better route runner that can stretch the field, but can also do so much more. And that's what Adonai Mitchell can bring to an offense.
Adonai is like, for me, he is my T. Higgins comp. He reminds me of T. Higgins more than anyone else in this class. I know you said Adunze, but you said twitchier, so I could see where you come from there with Adunze for sure. But as far as like a straight player comp, I think T. Higgins is the closest. There's a little George Pickens to his game as well. He's a better route runner than people give him credit for, but he still has a long ways to go for sure. I mean, there is potential for him to be a true superstar in the NFL. It's not going to be because of what he does after the catch, though. He's not going to be someone very impressive after the catch. I mean, he had a 3.0 yards after the catch per reception in the regular season. That was 216th out of 233 wide receivers that had 50 targets this year. But you don't always have to be a ridiculous yak threat at the next level. Hey, you're a big body. You can catch the ball. You can get the contested catches. You got secure hands. You run really good routes. Yeah, we're going to find a way to use you in the NFL. So
no question.
I like Adonai there. And we've got Henke up on the board.
Let's see.
So we'll see what Henke's up to here. But still a lot of good players. His teammate comes off the board there. Xavier Worthy off the board. I do love me some Xavier. I think he's going under the radar. He might be one of my favorite second-round picks this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is somebody that I really like. Somebody I compared to the Hollywood Browns.
Yes, I see
A
that.
elite speed that can take the top off of defense. Somebody that can play outside and in the slot. And I think that's what's so exciting: the versatility and the yards after the catch with someone like an Xavier Worthy. If he does fall to the perfect landing spot, I think that's exactly where you can see those fantasy PPR opportunities where he can be this guy in an offense. Once again, yards after the catch threat. He does have some issues with drops, but he makes the hard catches but drops the easy catches.
Yeah.
You do in a screen, he sets up, he probably takes his eyes off the ball that quick second, drops that screen. But he'll go up and he will get a contested catch with a DB that's 6'4", and it says, "I'm bigger than you" type vibe. That's what he does, Xavier Worthy, which is really exciting. My wide receiver 7
Need more
currently in the class.
Need more consistency from him. And then right before you, I'm sure this was the player you wanted. You and I love him. Jonathan Brooks comes off the board. Guys, if you're a film dude, no one I've ever talked to that's a film person has not loved Jonathan Brooks. Every single person who's in film and studies it, they love Jonathan Brooks. And it makes sense because he was my favorite player to watch on film this year. Silky, smooth mover in the open field. He, a little Travis Etienne to his game, a little Miles Sanders out of Penn State, a little Cam Akers out of Florida State. He was very, very exciting player to watch this year. Had the 4th best PFF run grade. Forced 50 missed tackles, which at the time before he was injured was 6th best in the nation. So it's not like he's, this small guy. You only talk about his burst and his long run speed and his pass catching. He's also got some great strength to his game. But this is a player that you're taking him as a project because he did tear his ACL. So you're taking him as a project, thinking about what he could be.
I can definitely understand. I definitely wanted Jonathan Brooks, but I'll pivot. It is super flex. You think about it. I keep saying it. I sound like a broken record. I'll take J.J. McCarthy here. If J.J. McCarthy goes to the Falcons, goes to the Broncos, goes to the Vikings, goes to New Orleans, goes to Seattle, that's going to change a lot of people's thought process of J.J. McCarthy in the first
100%.
round. So I'm going to take the upside. Obviously, he is not. In my thought process, he's not fully there yet. But if he goes into the right system with the right weapons, there's opportunity. Hasn't seen much. We haven't seen too much of him, when we think of production. But I'll take JJ McCarthy here.
Yeah, JJ is he gets a lot of unnecessary hate because Michigan got a lot of hate this year. I don't care what anyone thinks about that, but they did. And he didn't really do much to win a national championship. He ran the offense well, the defense dominated, and they ran the ball really, really well on the ground. So he only completed 11 passes in the national championship game. A lot of people are going to hate on him just because he hasn't really taken over an offense at this point in the collegiate level. What I will say is, if he gets a first-round draft selection, there's no way he's getting out of the first round of a Superflex league.
No.
There's absolutely no way. Because this kid has the size, he's got the arm talent, he's got the legs, he's got the athleticism, he has all the things that you cannot teach. He can be coached up by the right staff, he can be coached up to be a good NFL player. But when you're talking about things that you cannot teach, he has no limitations in that area. So J.J. McCarthy, to me, Badaki, was like a sore thumb still on the board. So I'm glad you took him there at the 2-7. And we'll see what Rowan's going to do here at the 2-8. Because a lot of good options still available on the board.
There is. I really like a couple guys here.
And we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, a player people love is still available.
It's so true.
Dude, there might be a point where I actually am in on Keon Coleman again. If he's going to keep falling to the late second round, I might go from the biggest hater to all in. Quickly.
But would you go to the biggest hater all in the right offense or no matter where he goes? Like you said.
I'm saying if he's going to be available like early third, late second,
but
I'll
if
have
he goes
him in a lot of leagues.
Early third, late. But if he goes with the draft capital, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up being like a first round pick or even like an early second, I mean,
I think
how
if
can
he's
I not?
I think if he's a first round pick, I think he's going higher. You know, like
I agree.
end of the first, he can go to Tampa, Green Bay, Dallas. Maybe he likes him, but they go GG's.
There's no way Rowan isn't looking at my rankings on the Flock Fantasy website. There's no way. Rowan, fess up. I was looking at my guy Jalen McMillan, and I was looking down the ADP, and he's all the way down around Roman Wilson territory, and I'm like, damn, okay, awesome. I'm gonna be able to hype up Jalen McMillan, and then he goes right ahead of me here. Damn it, Rowan. He says I wasn't looking at any rankings. I'm just kidding. Well, I do love me some Jalen McMillan. He goes one pick ahead of me. I was really hoping to grab him there, but I think he showed exactly who he is in the games where he was healthy this year. He was not healthy for most of the season. If you watch weeks 1, if you watch the Pac-12 championship game, and if you watch the college football playoffs, he showed exactly what kind of player he is. A very good route runner, slot guru type of player, quick, decisive release package, reliable option in the passing game. He can stretch the field, and a little Christian Kirk to his game. I see that. I love me some Jalen McMillan, one of my favorite sleepers in this entire class. And I'm hoping that he gets better draft capital than I'm currently anticipating, because I would love to be all in on him.
What is he projected?
Third round pick, I think, right now.
A mock draft database. I'm really interested on where he's projected to go. Let's see. Early third, you said?
I believe he would be third round pick at the moment, but Combine could put him into the second, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's a second round pick, but I think he's one of those names where it doesn't matter where you get selected, I'll be in on the player. Really, really love the player. That's unfortunate. McMillan off the board. But that's okay. I get a chance to take the second tight end in the class. I'll take Jatavion Sanders there. Jatavion Sanders is getting discounted to the point where I'm going to have so much of him. I mean, this is a great fit for a modern, athletic NFL tight end. Former 5-star athlete, goes to Texas, puts up some great production for the tight end position, is absolutely dynamic after the catch. If we're talking about like size, weight, athleticism all combined, he might be one of the best athletes in this entire class. He might be. Like, that's how athletic this kid is. So I'm really excited to grab Jatavion Sanders there. I think in PPR formats, he's very, very enticing. And, we talked about this before. I'm not saying, obviously, now with what we know, he wouldn't have been. Like, it would have been Sam Laporta, and, that would have been it. But in last year's class, if Jatavion Sanders was in it, he would have been in conversation as the number 1 tight end drafted. I'm not saying he would have been, but he would have been in conversations amongst those names purely from a prospect's perspective. So I'll take him there. Then Keon Coleman comes off the board. The slide stops. I like Keon a little bit more than Badaki, even though we're both very low on him. Great athlete. I think he's better after the catch than people give him credit for. The main area of concern is he's just not a good separator. It's just like there's no way around it. Even if you like Keon Coleman, you have to recognize he's one of the lower tier separators in this class. Point blank, period. Blake Corum goes at the 211. You and I like Blake Corum. I don't think he's going to be a superstar per se at the next level, but I think
he's a Charger now.
He could be a Charger. He actually could be. He can link up with Jim Harbaugh.
Charging the third round.
Yeah, he absolutely could be. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy who could be used on the goal line a lot in a lot of short, yardage scenarios. A little Ray Rice to his game, a little Maurice Jones-Drew. Exciting player. And then your guy, Bucky Irving, goes off the board next.
Oh, man. There it is. I was low-key hoping he closed me at the 3-7. Didn't happen there. My James Cook, per se, a PPR, a monster, yards after the catch, underrated vision as well. Somebody that's going to take his talents to the next level and fits the modern day NFL perfectly in a fantasy perspective and in real life. Obviously, of course, I will not be surprised if Bucky Irving rises stock going into the late second round in the NFL draft or early third in the NFL draft, and being a second round, late second in your rookie drafts as well. So really exciting here, especially how weak this class is. It may sound crazy right now, but he is my RB3. behind Brooks and Trey Benson.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think after the first two, you can have it whatever way you want. I'm excited to talk about my RB3 when it comes off the board, but I'm not going to sit here and say that that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy at this point. Anyone who says that, I mean, look, we all found out today that Frank Gore's RB1. So anything is possible, brother. It's all fun. It's all fun. Okay, guys, that's the end of the second round. Y'all know what I'm going to ask you, so start putting it in the chat. Who was the best value in the second round? The best value in the second round was who? Fill in the blank. But Aki, who would you say best value in the second round?
I personally would say Jonathan Brooks going at the 2-6. Falls at the go to the 2-6. He's my RB1. He could have been taken at the 2-1 personally. But I also think my pick in JJ McCarthy, especially in a super flex league at the 2-7, and projecting him going in the first round. But there's actually a lot, I'm seeing a lot of people like, Xavier Worthy is a really good one. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that I think are good value, just depending on how you view it.
I think if anything, it just speaks to how strong this class is as a whole, that the second round is this exciting.
Like, look, Xavier Worthy could potentially be a first-round pick. JJ McCarthy could potentially be a first-round pick. Keon Coleman could potentially be a first-round pick. Bo Nix could potentially be a first-round pick.
You can add even Jatavion Sanders in there. I'm not saying because I made the pick, but we have seen in the draft community people put him in the first round. I'm not saying it will happen, right?
What's that? 5 people, right? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that can go in the first round of the real NFL draft that you're getting in the second round currently, which is crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very exciting second round. We've been telling y'all for months and months and months and months and months to get second round picks in the 2024 class, and it's looking like it was a good move. Hey guys, just an update. We are 5 likes away from 100. Just 5 likes away from 100. We got 170 people watching the stream. Firstly, thank you so much for spending time and hanging out with us. There's a lot of things you could be doing with your time, so thanks for hanging out, filling the vibes out, having some fun, and spreading, different awareness and love for different players. But do us a favor. If you enjoy this kind of content, smash the like button, help us hit 100, and of course, subscribe. Because, if you've been lurking for a while now, maybe today's the day to become a subscriber. Okay, we're gonna get into the third round, but what? Go ahead.
Sorry, this is so random. You should pull up the Chargers Twitter.
Okay.
Their team is just so good, isn't it?
You mean at like social media?
Yeah, social media.
Let's see.
I don't know. I
Why
think
are they hard to find?
Because they changed their photo. You're looking for the logo, and you passed it already.
I did?
Yeah, look at the photo.
That's incredible. That is actually incredible.
And then it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him."
We are here. We are gathered here today to celebrate the size of this W. Your profile pic. Oh my gosh,
bro! The Chargers are next level, man. They're awesome.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I mean, they should be happy. That team deserves a coach like Harbaugh.
Yeah.
No question. All right, we're gonna quick fire through the third round. So Leggett goes first. I know you love Leggett. Size, speed athlete. A very enticing player. You've said this before, but body build of a DK Metcalf. That's not to suggest that he's going to be as successful as DK Metcalf, but has a similar body build. And then Malachi Corley off the board next. I would say one of your favorite sleepers as well, kind of back to back. What do you like about Corley?
100%. Yards after the catch type ability. I like the way that he can be utilized. A lot of people compare him to Debo. I don't compare him to Debo. I just compare him to the utilization, how Debo was used back in 2020, 2021, where he was getting a lot of usage in the backfield, screens, jet sweeps. That's what Malachi Corley can do in the next level if he gets to the right team there. Braylon Allen at the 303. Big body running back, very young. Somebody that continues to rise my rankings. I really am starting to have a little soft spot for Braylon Allen.
I'm glad it's on a hard spot.
Well, pause. I just think that the youth, the ability and the size is there, and I think a team is going to coach him up to be the best possible player that he can be. And I think there is some fantasy value, maybe a touchdown dependent a little bit, but still, I know that type of frame and build is
yeah, go ahead.
that type of frame and build is not modern. NFL running back is what we want. You want more of a pass catching guy, smaller, twitchier. Braylon Allen maybe can find the right situation.
Yeah, I think he's
value.
very situationally like dependent. The concern for Braylon is he's terrible in open space. Like, this dude is not making many people miss outside of his strength, and he's very, very strong. But that's the issue for me with Braylon is, like, again, the entire NFL right now is about putting players in space, and Braylon's worst attribute is what he does in space. But Polk comes off the board next. Jalen Polk, very exciting player.
Polk. Another guy rising.
Yeah, he could be a really solid number 2 on an NFL team. My favorite third-round sleeper so far, Jermaine Burton, comes off the board. Y'all know I kind of fell in love with Jermaine Burton around end of December. Big fan of his game. He's a very, very good route runner. Quick, confident release package. Can put you in a blender off the line of scrimmage. He's a nuanced route runner at all levels of his routes. You can see, a lot of experience, a lot of time, a lot of hard work put into it. He's a quarterback extender's best friend. Can throttle down and accelerate just as fast as the other. Great play strength. Caught 9 of 16 contested catches. 56.3%. There's a little Jaden Reed there, a little Adam Thielen, a little Jacoby Myers, a little Josh Downs to his game, a little Pop Douglas. So people are asking, who's the next Puka? Probably no one. Who's the next Jaden Reed? I put Jermaine Burton in that category as late second, early third guy who could really be a contributor in day one. So Jermaine Burton comes off the board. I think Will said he is. I don't think Will's available. So let's go ahead and...
The icon's
is
still there.
Is he? Okay. He
Well,
sent a message saying he wasn't.
Oh, did he? Okay, so I didn't see that.
He sent a message saying he wasn't, so we'll just give him Sleeper's next best player, Will Shipley, that you and I really have no interest in. So just not a very good athlete. I'm talking about a player who lost his own starting job at college in Clemson. So come on, Sleeper ADP. Shipley shouldn't be this high. You're on the clock. What are you thinking?
Shipley should not be this high. I'm going to shine a light on a player that I haven't spoken to you about, that I just released a video on, that, you kind of mentioned your Jaden Reed.
Yep.
I think this is my Jaden Reed.
Okay.
Of this class now. Guy that is going to continue to rise in the NFL draft, and that's Jacob Cowing. I've been seeing a lot of him.
Cowing or Cowing? I thought it was Cowing.
Sorry. Cowing, I've heard two, Cowing and Cowing. I said Cowing.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people in the community. I've been seeing on Twitter. I was like, okay, I need to go watch this guy's film, and I did wide receivers yesterday. And Jacob came out. I liked what he can do. He's a quick-footed, twitchy route runner, a slot wide receiver, which I like. We like all these slot wide receivers that can play in the middle of the field, that can get a lot of opportunities, and that's exactly what he can be. Right now, projected to go in the 4th round of the NFL draft. I think he could potentially rise his stock at the NFL Combine, potentially at the Senior Bowl, and this is probably the perfect spot where he can go here in the middle of the 3rd round, where, when we were drafting last year, Jaden Reed, he was going in the 3rd round. We were saying out of Michigan State, I'm not necessarily sure. He has to land in the right landing spot, and I think Jacob could potentially
really,
be that.
Took off at the Senior Bowl too. I think Jacob will be at the Senior Bowl, so that will be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's interesting to see. And he's really quick. Obviously, the biggest concern is his size, 5'11", 175 pounds. But, we've been saying this. We've taken size off of our scouting process because we've seen so many of these smaller wide receivers find success in the NFL. And this is exactly, I think, the perfect fit and mold that I like to see. Traity guy, yards after the catch type of threat as well. Jacob Cowing or Cowing, you guys let me know.
I'm
excited
Cowing,
for
but
him.
I could be wrong. But yeah, he comes off the board. Exciting player. You're not alone there. I've seen a lot of people who are.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Who are very excited about him.
So I had to go do my own research, which I did.
Yeah. So you're not alone there. A lot of people really do like Jacob Cowing. Rowan's on the clock. Let's see what Rowan's about to do. By the way, someone said that Will Shipley runs a 3.98. You heard it here first. I love like, so Badaki and I are both Americans. We live in Australia. A lot of you guys know that. We go in between. We go in between America and Australia. We have 2 homes, right? But we're in Australia at the moment, and Australia loves sarcasm. Like, they thrive on sarcasm. Like, if you were born and raised in America, when you come to Australia for the first 6 months of being here, you'll probably be like, why does everyone hate me? Everyone here hates me. But the reality is they actually don't hate you. If they're making fun of you, it means that they actually love you. And they like you. They want to be your friend. You know, they're kind of getting you in on the joke. And Australia thrives on sarcasm. In fact, I feel like I've thrived here because I use a lot of sarcasm. And it's only gotten worse now. But that's, you know, the chat's got a little Australian vibes at times.
A little Aussie vibe, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come to Australia. Where's MP? What's for lunch?
Honestly, where is MP? Get him in the chat. All right, Rowan is on the clock. Rowan, can we get a pick, my brother? In fact, we need to change the time. We're going 60 seconds from here on out. 60 seconds from here on out. We'll see if Rowan's got a pick up his sleeve. But yeah, there's definitely a player on the board I want to draft. I don't want anyone to take him.
That's oh shit. That's 2 back-to-back players from Rowan. McMillan and Marshawn Lloyd. Unlucky. Get off the rankings.
Rowan, stop it. You stop telling me you're not looking at my rankings on the Flock site. You stop it. I know you are. I love Marshawn Lloyd. I love Marshawn Lloyd. That is my RB3 in the class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got him as the RB8 in the class. My RB3, I'm obsessed with him. I think he's this year's Tajay Spears. He fits the modern day NFL like an absolute glove. But I'll take a shot and shine some light on Baby Ray Davis. I'll take him here. Unfortunately, an older player. Probably won't get the draft capital that we need to really be all in on him. But I love this player, and I love his story. You know, homeless, grew up without parents, homeless for a time, in and out of foster care. Everything he's ever had, he really made it himself. You know, nothing was ever given to him, and I think he could join an NFL roster and get the respect of the running back room straight away. I could see a Jalen Warren, comp working out for him really well. Johnny Wilson off the board next. I think he should play tight end, 6'7", 230 or something.
I think there's no question once he gets into the NFL, or if he gets into the NFL, they're going to say, you're a tight end, bud. We're drafting you. Just know that you're changing positions here, Johnny, okay? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Yeah. Tight end.
I think so. Devin Neal returned to Kansas, unfortunately, guys. So Devin Neal will not be in this class. Is Shiggy up on the clock here? Who's to say if Frank Gore would have been available? Who's to say? Maybe he took him at the right time.
I think he was deep in the ADP, I would imagine.
Who's to say, though? Theo Weiss is going back to school. Let's see. Do they have anyone here that's... J. Michael Sturdivant is going back to school. Theo, like I mentioned. I'm pretty sure Brew McCoy is. Zachariah Franklin is going back to school. Moose Muhammad comes off the board. Jamari Thrash. And we're gonna do 30 seconds for this last round. 30 seconds on the clock.
Moosey. Big old Moosey. Yo, Moose.
Frank Gore at the 101, Macy says. I hope Shiggy doesn't feel disrespected. I hope he doesn't feel disrespected.
Nah, you good, Shiggy.
Hope he knows.
We're making fun of you because we love you.
Yeah, it's all love.
We literally just said that.
Russell Wilson. No, I'm kidding. It's Roman Wilson off the board, then Audric Estime.
For a second, my heart kind of beat it out. I looked straight at my phone thinking that Russell Wilson has been traded.
Yeah. Apparently, there's some talk about him going to Denver or to Las Vegas. We just got a super chat from Brittleton Jones. We got Harbaugh, baby. Yes. What an exciting time to be a Chargers fan. Brendan Rice comes off the board next, but yeah, we've been talking about that throughout the stream. Very, very exciting for Justin Herbert, for Chargers fans, for the Chargers social media accounts. So yeah, very exciting. Jaheim Bell off the board next. I love me some Jaheim Bell. He is, I would say this year is Isaiah Likely, Chigakonkwo, somewhere in that territory for me. Very exciting hybrid wide receiver tight end out of Florida State. And Henke is up here. Let's see what he does. Malik Washington. Okay. A name I was kind of hoping was going to fall to me. I'm not going to lie. Was hoping he might be available, but he goes off the board there. Virginia Cavalier, great. Broke a ton of records in the ACC, a bunch of school records this year. Really exciting kind of slot gadget type of player. So Malik off the board. Let's see what Will is up to. He's probably going to be an auto pick. So it's probably
I really want to take
Ricky.
the guy. I really want a Ricky too.
So Michael Pratt off the board.
Michael Pratt. I'll take Ricky here. Ricky Pearsall out of Florida. Another guy that I really like. A guy that I watched. I think a good late round, 4th round pick here. Go watch that highlight. Go watch the highlight where he catches the ball in traffic one-handed. It is absolutely incredible. Big playmaker. Well, I would say he's a playmaker. I'm not saying he's big. 6'1", only 190 pounds. He plays, in my personal opinion, bigger, really high IQ, versatile player, which is really exciting there. So, Ricky.
Bro, they don't have my guy Jalen Wright in here? What the hell?
Because he's dog water. Nah, I'm joking. They don't have Wright. Yeah,
how do they not have White in here? They have all these other names. They don't have Jalen Wright?
Just pick a running back. Maybe you should take Frank Gore as a fill-in. Oh wait, he went in the first round.
I'll take Spencer Rattler here. I'll take Spencer. Honestly, if Spencer goes in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I'll take him in some 4th rounders just to see what sort of coach might be able to build him up. So Ricky off the board there. Let's see what IMCD does. I have to pee. I'll be right back.
Kate Stover off the board. Imagine that's a strong name, huh? Kate Stover. IMCD here. I feel like it kind of just goes down there. Sam Hartman, Theo Johnson. I'll be honest with you, I don't know Theo Johnson. I haven't scouted that guy. I haven't even heard of him. They don't even have Javon Baker on here either. Sleeping on guy everybody. And I don't even know who this guy is. Who's this? Rasheen Ali. Never heard of him. Out of Marshall. Never heard of him. Never scouted him. Very interesting to see. Appreciate you guys. Zach wants to go use the bathroom. We can probably do a quick Q&A. I say we do a quick Q&A. I would say the first... Yeah, I'll say the first 5. I want to say the first 10. The first 5 questions that comes through when Zach gets back. We'll probably do a nice little promo here with our Fantasy Land. Zach loves to do that. And then we will go into those Q&A. Put any questions that you have down below. But good draft. Some surprises. Frank Gore in the first. With the 111. Ladd McConkey at the 106. Obviously, this mock draft is probably a little bit skewed based off these things. But once again, you have to be prepared for anything. I'm not saying Frank Gore personally could go in the first, but like a Ladd McConkey, what if he does go higher than expected? We saw that a couple years ago with a couple wide receivers that think, whoa, okay, like some of these guys may have to go a little bit higher. What if Ladd McConkey does go to a team that we weren't expecting to, that has good opportunity in the first round? What if he does go to the Chiefs and the Chiefs like Ladd McConkey, right? That easily gives him that boost that could potentially go at the 106. Not saying it's okay, not saying this is what we would do, but yes, Ladd McConkey in the 6th.
Very surprising.
Very, very surprising there for us. So keep that in mind.
We might answer, 3 or 4 questions to end the stream, but just
I
before
said 5.
do,
I did the same
5.
thing. Yeah, I said 5. First 5.
But before we do, we just wanted to let you guys know about some exciting stuff we're doing over here on the channel. If you want access to our 2024 Dynasty Rookie Report, he says our mics are muted. Can people not hear us? Can you check the stream?
No, hello.
Can people not hear us?
No, my mic's not muted. I just listened. It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, might have been a troll. If you guys want to support this channel, if you want access to our 2024 Rookie Report, version 2 comes out on February 1st. A lot of new features are going to be added. Version 1's already out on the website. All you need to do is sign up to become a Mother Flocker member with our promo code LAND on the Flock Fantasy website. That will unlock the version 1. Of course, version 2, when it comes out, version 1 will come out. You'll see, obviously, an in-depth breakdown of our rankings, of each position. You know, we go in-depth: quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends will be added to version 2. You can see attributes, pro comps, projected NFL roles and draft capital, strengths, weaknesses, stats for the year. NFL Combine information will be updated when that happens. You'll get access to our prospect rankings on the Flock Fantasy website, our overall one quarterback, or our overall Superflex rankings. You'll get access to unlimited use of the Dynasty Trade Calculator, which is the best in the industry. You can customize it to exactly what needs your league has. You also get access to the Trade Finder, where you can see real trades that have happened in sleeper leagues if you want some sort of inspiration. Not only that, but you also get access to a Dynasty team review, which we do on our live streams. You get access to the Fantasy Hotline, a direct DM to us for advice, all the premier Discord server channels unlocked. All that, again, by signing up to become a Mother Flocker with our promo code LAND on the Flock Fantasy website. Just yesterday, we were live. We were breaking down people's Dynasty teams. A lot of you guys were live with us yesterday, and you got to see that. We already had some people sign up. From that, we got some more teams that we're going to break down here very, very soon. But if you guys want to go look at yesterday's stream here and look at what it would look like if you had your team reviewed, I'll put that in the chat so you can see what a Dynasty team review looks like from us. But, man, we're really excited about version 2, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. But we will end the stream. What did you promise? You said 5?
I said 5 questions. Yeah, 5 questions.
Let's answer the super chat first, and we won't count the super chat, by the way, because anytime someone super chats, they're gonna get their question answered anyway, always. But Brizzleton Jones donates, and he says Ayuk for the 2024 105 pick. I would take the 105, and I love 100%. Ayuk. But if you're telling me I can get Neighbors, if you're telling me I can get Drake May or Jaden Daniels, then I'm absolutely taking the 105. I've said this before. You've said this before. We keep saying it. The top 5 picks are absolute gold in the 2024 class.
Lock it in. Lock it
All right. First question is from Joshua. He says, Cody Schrader wasn't in Sleeper. You guys like him? Yes, I like him. This is a player that I actually talked about in a Sleeper video on the channel. Really tore up the SEC this year with Missouri, and he has a really cool story. You know, he spent 4 years playing D2 football, and then Cody Schrader was a walk-on at Mizzou after that. He walked on to Mizzou. He had no D1 offers to transfer, walked on to Mizzou, and won the job outright. So he's a dog for sure.
His film is very interesting. I like him. Interesting prospect to see where he's going to land.
Yeah, I don't think the draft capital is going to be there, but
yeah, not expecting good draft capital, unfortunately. So
yeah. All right, that's 1. We have 2. Alex says Troy Franklin wasn't in ESPN's top 10 wide receivers. I saw that. I believe it was.
I haven't seen
Mel
it yet.
Kiper, and it was
Little Mel Kiper anyway.
Oh, who's the other guy's name? He does fantasy for them, for ESPN. Anyway, they looked at the top 10, and I personally was shocked that Troy Franklin didn't sniff their top 10. They didn't even talk about him as an honorable mention. So maybe it is size weight concerns, but I would be so shocked if Troy Franklin wasn't drafted in the first early second round.
Is this Mel Kiper's first mock draft or just
No,
Mel
they did.
Kiper?
They talked about wide receivers.
Okay, Mel Kiper's top 10 wide receivers. I'm interested to see who the
Field
other
Yates.
who the other people.
He says they updated it. He came a wide receiver 6 on the update. That's what's weird. Is like, I feel like I don't want to disrespect Mel Kiper, but how does that happen so quickly? How is it someone that you don't even talk about, and then it's like, seriously, isn't this your job for ESPN? Or, no, okay.
Who the hell, Mel Kiper?
I don't want to disrespect him. All right, the third question. Let's see. Probably Cotrix, right? Okay, Cotrix says, what is the absolute highest?
You would take Ricky.
You would take Ricky
Pearsall?
I had the
Ricky
203
Pearsall?
and the 211. I feel like he could rise enough for me to use one of those picks on him. For me, it would be the 211, and that would be assuming he gets good draft capital.
Yeah, I think with that question, it's just really based off draft capital. Where does he go? Does he get end of the third round type of capital where we see him rise? That could be a little bit interesting with the 211. But like you think of this past year with the 211, who was going around there? I'm trying to think. I remember like Roscoe was going at the end. You saw
Tank
people
Bigsby,
like
Jaden Reed,
Tank Bigsby, Jaden Reed. Yeah, like all those guys. And some of those guys had second round draft capital. Some of those guys had third round draft capital. Just depends on the landing spot. So we wouldn't do it with the 203. I mean, I just took him here at the fourth round. The 4-7. Have to wait for the landing spot.
All right, that is question 3 of 5. Question 4 of 5 is from Mystic Flame. It says, my Superflex Start 11 league, they aren't valuing the rookie quarterbacks after Caleb. Should I take them in the rookie draft at a value? In the mock draft, Daniels fell to the 106. I had the 105 to the 110. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If they fall, you take them.
100,000%.
Because if those guys hit, they're going to be like, oh, can I get Jaden Daniels off you? Can I get Drake May off you?
Actually, I like Jane. Now I like Drake May, you know.
Yeah.
All right, and that was 4. Was that 4? That was 4, yeah. Callum is 5. Callum is 5. Joe Burrow and DK Metcalf, or Justin Herbert and Chris Olave. For me, it's Herbert and Olave.
Herbert and Olave. Okay.
I have been I've been advising people to sell DK Metcalf for a couple years now, just because he's not been the player people have wanted him to be for fantasy. No. He's a great NFL player, but he's been averaging like wide receiver 24 on a points per game basis in the last couple of years. He's a good player, but he's not some sort of ridiculous top 5 superstar that people wanted him to be.
Yeah, I completely agree. Chris Olave, you hope that this offense gets better. A new offensive coordinator is coming in. They just fired their previous one. Derek Carr, look, not the most exciting quarterback to have for someone like a Chris Olave, but we've seen Chris Olave still be fantasy relevant. You hope that continues with a better offensive play caller. So I'm waiting for that coming into this year.
Yes, and just quickly, some of these comments. How do we join the rookie draft? Join our Discord, my man. In our Discord, under the Fantasyland tab, you will see a content release tab. That's where we put those links. But that is probably going to be it for today, guys. Sorry, I know there's more questions out there, but we said we would do 5, and we got to hold to it. But we appreciate y'all. And again, if you guys have questions and you want to access us, keep in mind that if you are a Mother Flocker member, using the code LAND, you will unlock the fantasy hotline. That's a direct DM to us. You can ask us questions whenever you want. That's it for today. That's probably it for this week for us. But we do appreciate y'all. And I said this last week. I'll say it again. Whoever's in your life that you love, whatever family you got around you, tell them you love them. Right? You never know how long you got on this earth. Tell them you love them. Tell them you appreciate them. Do something nice for someone you love, for your friends, for your family, and don't forget, you don't have an unlimited time on this earth. Try and do something nice for the people around you and make an impact, make some memories this weekend. But we love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Great content still coming out on the channel.
Yeah. Go check out my late. What?
We're streaming tomorrow. What am I even talking about?
Tomorrow's Friday. Technically, tomorrow's Australia Day, by the way, but that doesn't really affect us.
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow. Sorry, I'm a dumbass.
Love y'all.